This is Josephine Halpin-Montvidas, career counselor at the Middle Country Public Library. Today's presentation is about the applicant tracking system, resumes, and cover letters. An applicant tracking system is a software solution that enables electronic handling of recruitment and hiring needs for employers. It stores and collects resumes in a database for human resources to access. Resumes can be stored after the job is filled. If a resume doesn't meet the qualifications, it may never get to the human resources desk or the hiring manager's desk. There are many different applicant tracking systems. For example, there's Taleo, there's Smart Recruiters, Recruiter Box, Greenhouse, and Lever, just to name a few. In fact, Starbucks and Marriott Corporation uses Taleo. There are about 300, they say, to 350 resumes can be sent for a single job opening. 75% of resumes are rejected by an applicant tracking system. In fact, only 4 to 6 individuals may be extended a job interview, and only one person will be offered the job. So what is the purpose of the resume? The purpose of the resume is to provide a summary of your skills, abilities, and accomplishments. It's an advertisement of who you are. It's a snapshot of what your interests are and qualifications to help you secure a job interview. It's your primary tool in your job search. It needs to be carefully written and critiqued. How does one begin a resume? You want to provide your full name, your cell number, a LinkedIn account, and email. You begin with the list of your accomplishments and personal qualities. List only the skills that you would like them to see for your new job. If you're writing a scannable resume, then use keywords, and I'll talk to you more about that shortly. When we write a chronological history of our resume, we begin with the employment, then our training, volunteer work, and or education. You want to analyze the requirements of the new job you want to apply for. Compare your skills and qualification to make sure they meet the needs of that job opening. How do you organize a resume? The entire resume must be targeted to a specific job objective. Arrange a resume to highlight your strongest or most extensive skills and qualifications. For example, if you are a recent college graduate, you want to list the name of the college, the degree that you attained, your major, any coursework that's relevant, internships, externships, or co-op experience. That would be placed at the beginning of the resume. If you have extensive work history, which is the highlights, your education would go near the bottom. Formatting a resume. You want to make sure it's easy to read and follow. You want to make sure you have a 1-inch margin around the edges. Create short, succinct sentences. Distinguish categories clearly with headings that are bold, underline, or capitalize. You may want to use bullets, some underlining, and capitalizing sparingly to guide the reader to detail within a category. You want to use keywords or the main point of each statement at the beginning of each line. Leave a space between the lines to enhance readability. You want to keep the resume, if possible, to 1 page. However, 2 pages is acceptable. How to create a perfect resume. Remember, a resume is an advertisement of your qualifications and experience. You want it to be perfect, free of spelling and any grammatical errors. It must be relevant towards the job you are applying for. You may also want to have several versions of your resume which show specific duties to get screened in by a specific employer. Action verbs. As I stated, you may want to use keywords, and what I'm really saying is action verbs. For example, if you're trying to find a job in customer service, you may use such action verbs such as achieved, boosted, delivered, resolved. If you've been involved with project or team management, you may want to use action verbs such as cultivated, enabled, facilitated, guided. And if communication is critical for the job opening, you may want to use action verbs such as authored, critiqued, edited, or illustrated. This resume that's on display right now is an example of a functional resume. Again, we have the person's first name and last name, their cell number, and a Gmail account. They're emphasizing that they've had some customer service, they're able to use computer skills, and they're organized. Also note that the employment history is on the bottom of the resume or near the end, as well as the education. A functional resume is best used by someone with employment gaps or someone that wants to switch or transfer to a different industry or profession. The chronological resume is most commonly used and many employers are familiar with it. Again, you begin with your first name and last name, a cell number, and an email account. And make sure your greeting on your cell phone is business appropriate. Nothing should be inappropriate on a cell phone greeting, especially when you're job searching. You may also want to include certain personal qualities or attributes that are relevant to that job opening. Then you want to start with your work history. A good point here is you do not typically go back more than 10 years of experience. Most employers are really not interested what we did prior to 10 years. So you start with your most recent years and work back. And note that the education is near the bottom or near the end of the resume. Also, if you've had any volunteer work or any certain certification, that could be near the end of the resume as well. And lastly is a cover letter. Some job postings may require a cover letter in addition to your resume. If possible, try to find the name of the hiring manager or the department manager that is looking to fill that position. In the first paragraph, let them know what job opening you're applying for, and let them know about your enthusiasm and strong interest in that position in the first paragraph. In your second paragraph, you may also want to let them know about the work that you've been at presently, but also any additional achievements or accomplishments that are not stated on your resume. That also could be very impressive for the hiring manager to read. Don't forget to let them know that you're very interested in discussing the position further with them. Always thank them for their time and consideration. And with the closing, you can close with the traditional sincerely if you wish, or if you want to give it a little more punch, you could close it with great interest and then again your first name and last name. Thank you so much, and it's been a pleasure.